If everyone could take their seats, please. The chair will call to order the meeting of Community Unit School District 201, today Tuesday, May 22nd, 2012. Roll call, please, Mrs. McMahon.
Mr. Armstrong?
Here.
Ms. Caparelli?
Here.
Mr. Charleston?
Here.
Mrs. Charlton?
Here.
Mrs. Hancock?
Here.
Mr. Price? Mrs. Thomas?
I just want to tell you, Mr. Price is on jury duty, and he is hoping to be here very soon. So he's finishing up his civic duty. Hopefully he'll be here soon. If we can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the April 24th, 2012 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
You may want to check the last page. I think, Judy, you noted public comments. One, I think you reversed the names. Like one is noted Greg Torwag and one was
Right.
Greg Swanson.
Mr. Armstrong sent me an email, I think.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good.
Okay, did we do the motions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the closed session of the April 24th, 2012 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the May 3rd, 2012 special meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the closed session of the May 3rd, 2012 special meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the May 8th, 2012 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think I have to abstain on that one.
Any opposed? The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the first closed session of the May 8th, 2012 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain?
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the second closed session of the May 8th, 2012 regular meeting of the Board of Education as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstaining?
I'm sorry. Okay, we will start with student recognition. If we could have Ms. Crustle up first. Which ones do you want to do first?
All right, good evening. My name is Kristen Krestel, and I'm the principal at Manning Elementary. First group I'd like to talk to you about tonight is Destination Imagination. Destination Imagination is an educational opportunity where students can experience creativity, teamwork, and problem solving. Teams are tested to think on their feet, working together, and devise an original solution to a presented problem. The students' teams solve open-ended challenges and present their unique solutions at tournaments. This year, we had an outstanding team of fourth graders at Manning who placed first at regionals and then took their successful problem-solving skills to the state level in April, placing 8th. These students did a wonderful job representing Manning School. As I read your names, please come forward. Rose Armstrong. Anika Bupalam. Nick Charlton.
No, Rose, no. So stand there.
Trevor Kapusta. Alana Moreno. Grace Notbush. And Stephanie Walker. Congratulations to all of you. We are very proud. Manning School also participates in the ICTM, the Illinois Council of Teachers of Mathematics, math contest each year. Students in grades 3, 4, and 5 compete in individual team contests. The contests are given in December, February, and April. This year, 5 students are recognized for their outstanding problem-solving math abilities and daily work in math class. In 5th grade, Luke Gifford is this year's Math Award winner. Luke got a perfect score on all 3 individual contests. He is the first student to do so. Don't let his quiet nature fool you. He's always thinking. This is his 2nd year that Luke has received the Math Award. Congratulations, Luke. In 4th grade, Griffin Chapman is this year's Math Award winner. Griffin loves a challenge, especially in math. He will work until he gets the answers. Griffin enjoys showing many ways to tackle math problems. He knows how to work smarter, not harder. Congratulations, Griffin. And in 3rd grade, there are 3 students who are this year's Math Award winners. Ava Shimilewski, Mackenzie Perry, and Kathleen Zielinski, all tied in the 3 math contests given this year. These 3 young ladies work hard and love the challenges in math. They consider themselves problem solvers, and not just in math. Congratulations, Ava, Mackenzie, and Kathleen. On behalf of Manning School, we are so proud of your hard work and dedication. Thank you. Ben. Okay. The Illinois Principal Association Award is given to 1 5th grade girl and 1 5th grade boy. This award has been given for their citizenship, dedication, and hard work while attending school. These 2 students, as well as their parents, were recognized at a breakfast last month for all DuPage County recipients. Eliza Panjwani and Ben Boxell, please come forward. Thank you again, and on behalf of the Manning School staff, we are very proud of your hard work, dedication, and efforts. We wish you well in junior high.
Good evening. My name is Kelly Boss, and I'm the principal at Miller School. I'm asking that my 2 Illinois Principal Association winners please come up to the podium right now. That would be Molly and Emily. These students, as well as their parents, were invited to a DuPage County breakfast in April to celebrate their accomplishments. I'd like to share some insights from the staff at Miller about each one of them. Girls, would you please step forward when I say your name? Molly Johnson. Molly is a great role model for her peers in 5th grade and across the building. She's very intelligent and is a very creative writer. She has a great sense of humor and does an exceptional job with problem solving. Molly is a great Miller citizen since she gets along with everyone. As her teacher states, Molly is small and mighty. Molly is the recipient of this award because she embraces challenges and is an inspiration to others, especially her peers. Molly will be sorely missed at Miller as she moves on to the junior high in 6th grade. Congratulations, Molly. Emily Sharon. Emily is what every teacher would ever ask for in a student. She's always on task, is self-motivated, plays an active role when participating in class discussions, and is just a joy to have in class. Emily is a top math student and has been the Miller Way Citizen and Scholar for over the course of the school year. Emily is always kind and considerate to others and is involved in many extra activities such as safety patrol, band, Just Say No to Drugs Club, book club, and chorus. Emily is the recipient of this award because she's inspirational to all and is the type of student that we will hate to say goodbye to as she moves on to the junior high. Congratulations, Emily.
Hi, my name is Ron Fiala. I'm principal at Westmont Junior High School. This year was really a special day for us when we had all our schools represented at the IPA breakfast. This breakfast is put on by DuPage County Regional Office of Education to honor students who show exemplary character and excel. That these are really student leaders that I'm sure when we see people finally get into the high school, when it's time for spring awards, I know that this group of kids will be well represented. At this time, I'd like to recognize our two students, Luca Baticola and Maddie Debs. Please come up to the front. It's with great pleasure that they come up to the stage and share in this honor with other students from our district. These are great kids, and you should be very, very proud of them. So Luke, thank you very much for all your efforts. Appreciate it. At this time, could Colleen Walsh please come up to the front? Colleen? Colleen is our supervisor for our student council at Westmont Junior High School. She will be presenting some awards for the executive board. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Colleen Walsh.
Good evening. Westmont Student Council gives students the opportunity to become involved in the basic governmental system in our school. The executive board, President Louis Prado, Vice President Paul Gordon, Secretary Luca Baticola, Treasurer Adam Dahl, and Assistant Secretary Ian Ryan are elected by the student body. If those gentlemen could please come forward. These 5 gentlemen I've had the opportunity to work with. They were elected by their peers back in September to be the voice of our school. Known as the Panther Package, these boys sometimes drove me crazy, but I always knew that I could count on them to get the job done. In addition, I'd also like to recognize Haley Party, and these boys were really going above and beyond in preparation and planning for our St. Baldrick's event that took place in April. While there are so many hands involved in not only student council, but also student leadership and early act club, these individuals really took time out of their everyday life to go out and solicit to downtown Westmont and help with our raffle. They also spent time coordinating, poster making, and creating a raffle table to help our event be such a great success. From the bottom of our heart, Ms. Quattrone, Ms. Cozen, and myself really thank you for your time and your dedication.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Lisa Cozen. She's the supervisor for our Early Ed Club. So Lisa, could you come up here, please?
Hi. Would all the recipients receiving an award from Early Ed today please come up to the stage before I begin? Thank you. Okay, again, I run the Early Act Club. It's a young version of the Rotary Club here in Westmont. Some of the things we do are in school. Some of the things we do are around Westmont community. Some are for the nation and some are international, just like the Rotary models. We started out 7 years ago about one project a month. We are now up to 5 to 6 projects a month. Thankfully, for people like the Park District and the library and everybody else who's been calling us and upon my students for their services. Some examples would be, this year we've raised money for a lot of different organizations. Cancer was very close to home at the junior high this year. We did a Hats Off for Cancer event. We also partnered with Student Council and the leadership team for the huge St. Baldrick's event, which in my history of Westmont is one of the largest fundraisers ever to be held at the junior high. We raised over $18,000. The library always calls us to help with their workshops. There's one going on right now, and some of the students will be leaving to go there. They also decorate all the beautiful library windows. If you've ever been there, those are my kids as well, and the rest of the library. The Park District calls upon us for different community events. You'll see my kids around holidays, such as Breakfast with Santa and the Tree Decorating Day. You'll also see them this weekend at the Red, White, and BBQ over at Ty Warner Park, and this summer at the Taste of Westmont. These particular people standing on the stage are the ones that were awarded awards at our end of the year banquet, and I wanted to share those awards with you. Starting with the 6th grader of the year, Claire Shimalewski. Claire, come on up. Here's your plan. Thank you. Then we have our 7th grader of the year, Danielle Wade. We had a tie for 8th grader of the year because it's just too hard to pick amongst my 8th graders, Sarah Mustafa and Hannah O'Malley. My officer of the year, who was my right-hand woman and has been for quite a few years at the junior high, was Erin Slattery. And this year's president, which is a tough job for this club and our 70-some members and the many, many projects they have all year, is Paige Dold. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Julie Johnson. She is the facilitator for the Snowflake program at Westmont Junior High School. Ms. Johnson.
Operation Snowflake is a drug, alcohol, and tobacco prevention program that our school district provides for our junior high school students. Not only do we explain and teach them how to be drug-free, but this program gives them the opportunity to meet new people, to interact with those that they normally wouldn't on a daily basis, to talk about their problems in regards to family, schools, school, and friends, but also provides them with an extra outlet that they need in order to be able to express their feelings. Back in September of 2011, myself, Jason Bolden, and Colleen Klein had the opportunity to sit down and interview roughly 30 students from both Westmont Junior High and Westmont Senior High to be directors and leaders for Operation Snowflake. We asked the candidates questions such as what the snow programs mean to them, what they are involved in, what their grades look like, and how they see themselves as a leader. From the 30 students that we interviewed, we determined that there were 3 8th grade girls from the junior high that exemplify what this program is all about. Unfortunately, only one of them is here today, so Devin, if you could come on up here. Since September, Devin, along with our other directors, which were Brittany Ironman and Maddie Debs, have given up time before school, during lunch, and after school in order to provide their peers with an amazing snowflake experience. It was up to them to determine a theme, to pick a theme song, decide on t-shirts, choose mini workshops, and also decide what events would take place at Operation Snowflake. Snowflake turned out to be better than I think any of us could have imagined, and it's all due to our directors. Not only did they participate in school clubs and activities, they maintained good grades. We put a grade requirement on it this year, and they were able to plan a wonderful event. So it's an honor to be able to say thank you to Devin and say thank you to Maddie and to Brittany as well. So great job, Devin. Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Carr, and I'm the principal here at Westmont High School, and this is my second Student Awards ceremony today. It's a pleasure to be here, and after 10 years, it's kind of a neat opportunity to recognize something brand new and a really tremendous accomplishment by a group of our students. Mr. Tom DeMay is the sponsor for our Scholastic Bowl team, and I'm going to ask Tom to come up here and speak about his team's accomplishments this year. Tom?
Thank you. Scholastic Bowl can best be described as a team jeopardy. I mean, we don't go down to Suburbanite Bowl twice a week and throw the ball down the lane. Rather, twice a week after 6.5, 7 hours of a school day, we have 11 students on varsity come to a classroom and compete against each other during practice in all aspects of school, whether it's economics, biology, geometry, all aspects. And then after a couple months of practicing, we compete against the other 11 schools in the Interstate 8 conference. And after a season's worth of competition where we went 18-4 and we went 4-0 in the conference tournament, winning conference, we have qualified for the national tournament this weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. So that is our excellent adventure that is coming up shortly that we will be leaving for in a couple days. So I would like to introduce all the members of the varsity team. If you guys could please come up first. Anna Scheidel. Molly Johnson. Yeah, Chris Saxa. And Chloe Marshinsky. Meg Bennett. Adrian Gonzalez. Alex Frageau. Varun Bupalam. Danny Kuzlik. Katie Hastings, and John Tilden.
Mr. DeMay puts a tremendous amount of effort into preparing our students for the Scholastic Bowl competitions, and I think it needs to be noted that the effort he's taken to put them in a position to win, to of course beat Lyle, which is huge, but also to give them the opportunity, please, yes, it's just really, all of you deserve and obviously getting the accolades you deserve. That's a new thing, but each year we also recognize our valedictorian and salutatorian at this student recognition. So I'm going to ask Alex Frugeot to step back on stage. Alex Frugeot. Alex is our valedictorian this year. So Alex, I'm going to have you step over here, and I'm going to say a whole bunch of really nice things about you. Alex is our valedictorian, first in our class. He's planning to attend Illinois Wesleyan next school year. He's going to major in social studies. He has plans to become an educator. And it's a very positive thought. Having a bright guy like this in front of our students is certainly something I'm looking forward to. He's an Illinois State Scholar, a National Honor Society President, a Clarendon Hills Bank Student of the Month for January, Scholastic Bowl All-Conference, 4-year soccer team member, our percussion captain for band. He's also a member of the jazz band. He's also a member of the 2-time Battle of the Bands winning I'll Find Out For You. As part of his church youth group, he's been on a number of adventures where he and a group of his colleagues will go out and build homes for people who are less fortunate. His fondest high school memory of Westmont High School was the total domination of the Interstate 8 Conference by the Scholastic Bowl. His parents, Wayne and Susan, are, I'm sure, very proud. Alex, thank you very much. We also have a salutatorian this year, and I'd like to ask Caroline Smirkowski to join us on stage. Caroline will attend the University of Illinois at Champaign. She's going to major in architecture with a very unique focus in that major. She's hoping to get involved with green technology and structural design. Her accomplishments include Illinois State Scholar, National Honor Society member, French Honor Society member, World Language Club, Geography Club, Sentinel Buddies, Business Professionals of America, WISE, varsity cross-country, track, and soccer. She plans to tutor this summer grade school students and travel around the Midwest while hanging out with her friends. She finally remembers her great times in the Geography Club trips with Mr. Landreth, and of course, getting second place in state with the cross-country team this year. Her parents, Adam and Linda, I'm sure are very proud. Caroline, it's been a wonderful 4-year experience for you. Congratulations. Of course, this part of the ceremony is about our students, and that's what schools are about. But while I have a moment, and many of you know I like the microphone, I just have one final thing to say. I'd like to take the opportunity while I'm up here to share my appreciation for the many staff members, the administrative team, our students and parents, because it's all about the students. For my experience in the Sentinel community over the last 10 years, it's been professionally and personally very rewarding, and I'm excited about the future of the Westmont community. Thank you very much.
on behalf of the board, I'd like to say congratulations to all our students tonight, and everybody deserves a hand and a round. Now we'd like to acknowledge our CUSD 201 retirees, and when I call your name, if you'd like to come on up here, and if one of these chairs is yours, you may sit in it. First, Marvell Arsenault. Mrs. Arsenault has served as secretary at Westmont Junior High School for the past 19 years. You should see your face. Okay.
It suits you.
Joe Blackburn. Mr. Blackburn has served as a science teacher at Westmont High School. His career with CUSD 201 spans 33 years. Tom Seka. Mr. Seka has taught 4th and 5th grades at Manning School during his 41-year career with CUSD 201. I'm not sure if she's here. Kathy Delanoy? She isn't here tonight, but Mrs. Delanoy has worked both part-time and full-time as a music teacher at both the elementary and junior high levels. Her career with CUSD 201 spans 23 years. Also, Mrs. Delanoy would like to donate the cost of her rocking chair to Westmont Junior High School's choir department. Ron Fiala. Mr. Fiala's career with CUSD 201 spans 37 years. He taught biology and PE at the high school for 18 years and served administratively as the high school's assistant principal for 10 years and the junior high's principal 9 years. Terry Marciniak. Ms. Marciniak has served CUSD 201 as a counselor, health, and PE teacher at the junior high and senior highs during her 32-year teaching career with CUSD 201. I'm not sure if Rich Rio is here tonight. During Mr. Rio's 42-year career with CUSD 201, he has taught 4th and 5th grades at Miller School. Mr. Rio is donating the cost of his rocking chair to purchase books for the Miller School Library. Linda Schroeder. Ms. Schroeder has taught social studies at the junior and senior high schools and Spanish at the high school. Her years of service to CUSD 201 total 29. Ms. Schroeder is donating the cost of her rocking chair to Westmont Junior High School PTO. Kathy Volpe. Not sure if she's here. Mrs. Volpe has served as an elementary classroom teacher at both Manning and Miller schools, as well as reading specialist at Manning School. Her career with CUSD 201 spans 18 years. Mrs. Volpe is donating the cost of her rocking chair to Manning School's RAP program. Collectively, these 9 individuals have devoted 267 years to the CUSD 201 community. We applaud their dedication and wish them the very best in their well-deserved retirement.
Boy, that's a lot of years.
Was there like a flashing run sign or something that we missed? Was there like a flashing run? There you go.
There's still school tomorrow. There's still school tomorrow.
Watch your step.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Good night, Judy.
Thank you, Judy.
Have chair will travel, right?
You guys gonna stay all the way back there, really?
Yes.
Laura, could I ask you to close that door? Oh, he's gonna get it, okay. All right, well, should I announce this would be a good time for someone to leave?
If you'd like to leave.
Okay. All right, the next item on the agenda is public comments, and I have Miss Peggy Tupinski, please.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I probably don't need this microphone, right? Did you tell them I was going to speak? Everybody left the room. I was going to say congratulations to all the retirees and award winners, but they're gone. So I'm here tonight on behalf of our third grade class at Miller School. This year we've been focused on water conservation as one of our units. Part of this year-long project involves students finding ways in which they might be wasting water and what they can do to stop that. For instance, students determined that they were wasting 7 to 9 cups of water every time they wash their hands when they take a bathroom break. They eventually determined through a math cross-curricular activity that an average of 315 gallons of water was being wasted by the school each day. As we continued our water conservation study, the students expanded their knowledge of water conservation and came up with many more questions. They learned about watersheds and the importance of not disturbing the ecosystem within a watershed. They also learned that the Nestle company was doing harmful things to different watersheds and ecosystems around the country, including in the state of Michigan. Many students have been to Michigan, a few have relatives there, and they felt a connection to the state. They were quite upset by activities of the Nestle company that they learned about through different film clips that we had seen and through different information that we had gathered. When I casually mentioned that our district, Community Unit School District 201, buys Nestle water products, they were shocked and disappointed. They wanted to do something about it. Some students decided that they wanted to write letters to the members of the school board, and so they did. So I am here tonight to present to you the letters that they wrote to you, requesting that you please consider not buying Nestle products anymore. If you could please thoughtfully consider their request, they would greatly appreciate it. They would like to know if you could please go to the websites that I have listed on a sheet here for you and do a little bit of research on it, as they did, and find out the evil things that the Nestle company is doing. Yes, that water you are drinking tonight is Nestle Pure Life evil water.
Aquafina, I thought that was a Pepsi.
Aquafina is a
The little
different
ones.
company, but if you're drinking the...
Next to you, Dan.
Aquafina is,
That
yeah,
one, okay.
if you're drinking the Nestle Pure Life. So I wanted to give you these letters from some of the students that decided they were going to write them. And if you could please take some time over the next few weeks and look at them. Take a look back and pass it down. And these are the websites that they have been researching on and looking at. So. This is part of our year-long project and part of our Small Giants project that the kids have been working on. And a number of other things that they've been doing along with this is trying to connect with the community, is trying to get restaurants to stop serving water automatically. So they have petitioned a few restaurants. Unfortunately, we did not get positive responses yet, but we're still trying, and it may have to go into next year. Next year's class may also pick this up then to see if we can get some community support for not serving water immediately when you sit down at the table at the restaurant. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Okay, the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Are there any questions or comments? Okay, then the chair will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Number 1, personnel recommendations. Number 2, approval of student tour requests. Number 3, approval of student handbook revisions. Number 4, approval of May 2012 expenditure report. And 5, ratification of April 2012 payroll report.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Armstrong?
Yes.
Ms. Caparelli?
Yes.
Mr. Charleston?
Yes.
Mrs. Charlton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hancock?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is presentation of monthly financial statements.
Start out with some good news this evening. In the month of April, we did receive the second quarter categorical payments from the state, approximately $330,000. The state still owes us about $316,000, but it had been over $600,000 last month. We also, another piece of good news is the district was notified that we received the school maintenance program grant that Mike Mayoris and I worked on. So we will be receiving $50,000 that we're going to use toward the boilers. Now I'm just hoping that we receive that construction grant for the Early Childhood Center one of these days. But so that was a nice piece of good news for the district.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
And anyway, there's nothing, things are running pretty much as they have. Revenues and expenditures are comparable to the prior year. Again, in the transportation fund, the state still owes us about $93,000, and in the education fund, about $224,000. I was at a conference this week for business managers, and someone from the state was speaking. It does not look like we will receive third or fourth quarter categorical payments by the end of the year, and so we'll just have to watch and kind of see how that's going. But right now, our fund balances are adequate to see us through the remainder of this year. And you'll also notice that our investments, we don't have any investments right now, and we will be investing as soon as we get that first tax payment.
Last year at this time, or last year at the end of the year, were we also lacking the third and fourth quarter categories?
Yes.
Or is that all we were lacking last year?
I believe so. It's some of it, well, and
So-
some of our, but some of our grants, it depends on the timing of expenditures and
Yeah.
then filing those, so I don't really recall how much of the grant, like our Title I funds, we were missing.
Okay.
Any other questions?
The only other question, or actually more of a comment, is I think it's great when we get these awards like this grant, and it'd be good to just maybe put it out on our blog somehow so that the wider school community, just as an FYI, you know, that we applied for this and we received it and it's going towards the boilers, and just so that people know that we are doing things, you know,
Yeah,
to...
we're trying to seek new sources of revenue, any type of revenue we can find.
Yeah, it's important that people know that.
Yeah, very good. Okay, anything else, Ms. Anderson? Okay, then the next item on the agenda is the bond issuance timeline.
I submitted the timeline for the bonds. We are going to, and we actually made one change today. We're going to be doing our rating agency meeting on June 8th. We'll have a bond resolution on June 19th, and then have the price the issuance on June 26th. So you'll have information in your board packets that evening to approve that. And then we'll close on the bonds on July 10th. And one of the things, as we continue, we've waited as close to the time where we need the funding as possible. So that's why we're issuing at the end of June. And over the course of, since we've talked about the bonds earlier in March and earlier than a year, I asked Liz Hennessy from William Blair to run another financing schedule just to see, because rates from after the March 1st presentation, rates had gone up a bit, about 40 some basis points, and now rates have fallen again, and they're a little bit below where they were on March 1st. So as we're looking, as she reran the presentation numbers, the differential between the three options is really only a basis point between each of them, so 2 basis points high to low. Total cost differential is a little over $37,000. So while we had initially said we would go with a $4 million, $1 million issuance, it's our recommendation this evening that we do all $5 million at once. There is some interest rate risk. You know, clearly interest rates could go down, but they also could go up, which increase our costs. So we'd like to kind of remove the upside interest rate risk and issue all 5 at one time.
So what happens with that cash then? Does it get short-term invested, or are we just sitting on it to get short-term invested?
And I've already been looking at some scenarios to invest for a year to see what I can do. You know, obviously investment rates will not be as high as the rate that we're paying to borrow the money. We just feel that there's, you know, the risk, the downside risk, if rates do fluctuate a lot, and no one can predict rates, that it may, you know, we break even or cost the district money. So.
Is that figured into the amount? Because I remember reading something about $30,000 or so. So that proceeds from any investment isn't off of that at this point. Because you don't really know how much will be invested, and it'll only be like maybe a year investment or something like that.
And we'll look to see if we can't even do maybe a couple month investment on some of the money based on what we anticipate our cash flow needs for the projects will be.
Okay.
As a practical matter, I'm less concerned about the interest rate risk, as we talked about, than, you know, just the administrative burden of doing a second offering. Because candidly, you know, 8 months ago, we looked at 2.7 and we thought, wow, that's great, we should lock that in. Now it's 2. There's a term that's being thrown around right now called the fiscal cliff that our country faces, which is these expiring tax cuts as well as all the spending enhancements that are out and about. So if there's spending cuts and tax increases, there's a massive drag on our economy. Never mind what's happening in Western Europe, never mind what's happening in Asia. And there's enough labor slack to you know, choke a horse with, because, you know, even at 8% unemployment, our effective unemployment rate is somewhere near 15. So the reality, you know, I think personally, you know, as I said 8 months ago, rates are more likely to go down than up. The Fed certainly thinks that, but that said, a 4 + 1 means you have to do the work twice. So I'm fine with a $5 million
Okay, so what are you looking for us from tonight? Consensus to
Just
do this?
consensus to do the 5 million, and then Kim can proceed with, generating the paperwork for it.
Okay.
I'm
Joel?
fine with that.
Okay, Shannon?
That's fine.
Okay, I am as well.
I concur.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Great, thank you for this, Kim. Okay, the next item on the agenda is 2012-2013 staffing update.
I just want to kind of update the board on where we're at in our hiring process as we recognize many of our retirees and we have some other, when you look at what I've provided for you internally, some moves as well. First, with the retirement of Tonseka at the 5th grade, Diana Moby has expressed interest in moving into 5th grade, and so that is more than likely what will occur to fill his slot. Kathy Volpe has retired as a reading specialist, and Carrie Lyston has expressed interest of moving from 4th grade teacher at Manning to reading specialist. The board earlier approved Karen Niemeyer, who is one of our Manning teacher assistants, to move into a 4th grade teaching position, which effectively is will replace Carrie Lyston's position. And then Becky Jones, who is a special education teacher at Miller, has expressed interest in the 5th grade elementary position due to the retirement of Rich Rio. And so in addition to that, we still, and I know now that Amy and John Jonak have completed the process for secretary for the junior high. And the reason why that was somewhat of urgency is we'll be able to do some transitioning with Marvell before she starts retirement with the new person, and so they wanted to line that individual up. But we still need to work on a choral director at the junior high for Kathy Delanoy's position, a social studies teacher at the junior high. Miller, with Becky Jones moving into a classroom position, we'll be looking for 1.5 special education teachers, physical education teacher at the junior high, and then with Steve Carr moving to TCD, a high school principal. And then also, the board wanted to see how we're adding an additional section of 4th and 5th grade, and if indeed that could be absorbed with retirements and some of the changes we've made. And with the 4th grade position, we'll have to replace Carrie Lyston in the 4th grade position, or rather the additional section of 4th grade. And with the 3 teacher assistants that were RIF'd, that's a savings of approximately $46,000, and we'll be looking for a bachelor's step 1, so that would be a savings there. At the 5th grade, we actually have replaced or found the 5th grade person at the previous board meeting. Ashley Peterson, one of our teacher assistants, was moved into the 5th grade position. Again, a bachelor's step 1, and with the new junior high principal and the new high school assistant principal, there's a collective savings of $64,000. So that does, make up for the differential with the additional. So again, we're confident that the additional 4th and 5th grade section will be absorbed with what we're doing currently with staffing.
Do you anticipate any other moving around of people from one position to another? Because it looks like there's an opening in 1st.
That's one
thing. Does that happen then cascade down the line?
Right, as we post positions, then you find out who internally there may be some interest, and then we may be doing some internal moves again, or we may be hiring outside the district.
I have a question. When we were talking about this at the last meeting, we were talking about some of these big classes, and I know during the summer we're going to have the discussion about class sizes and that, but I wanted to ask, following up something I think that Joel had talked about in terms of flexibility, because as it stands right now, our incoming 1st graders at Manning looks to be about 24 students per class. And That's if no other students come in. Do we have flexibility in our schedule to bring in, to have another section if that becomes larger? Because that would then make that incoming first grade the biggest classes in the school.
Right. And I think there is some flexibility. Again, we'll be, as soon as we wrap up the school year, we'll start to meet to kind of take a look at, again, kind of those class sizes at various grade levels, and also when you start getting to the high school and junior high, it's in terms of sections and departments, subject area that you look at. And then kind of put together that plan then when you reach that, what exactly is that point where you consider another section, and when do you collapse the section? So we'll have those conversations. We do have the flexibility to implement some of those strategies. And so depending upon what that plan looks like, we'll take a look at that and then make some recommendations. And again, obviously the overall umbrella for us is always how it impacts us in terms of our budget and expenditures. But I think, again, with some of the retirements and some of the movement that we're seeing, that we do have some flexibility.
Okay. But even though we're going to be having the general conversation over the summer, we still have flexibility for the beginning of next year? Okay. Right. And does that also, because of all this domino effect and especially at the junior high with the retirees and that, because all these bubble classes are like going to the junior high, do we have any flexibility there as well? Is that kind of what you're talking about in terms of looking at those kind of numbers?
Yeah, and Amy Quattrone actually right now is looking at the schedule to build in some flexibility. We did meet, Amy and I met with the language art teachers at the junior high because they were concerned about some of the class sizes, and so we listened to their concerns. Amy is looking at the schedule creatively to try to address some of those things, but there is some flexibility. And then, again, one of the things I think that as we bring on our new principal and with Amy, taking a look at, kind of a long-term, taking a look at the schedule at the junior high and see what opportunities there may be by looking at different possible schedules there. And I think even some, I can't speak for all junior high teachers, but I think some junior high teachers have also expressed interest in looking at that possibility as well. So even going into next year, I think there's a little bit of flexibility, but then long range, we're looking at how we schedule at the junior high to make sure that we have that flexibility as we get larger class sizes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, the bubble is coming.
Yes, we're aware of it. Yes.
Okay, any other comments on that? Okay, then the parent note of appreciation, do we want to?
Right, just unless anybody on the board, disagrees, it was actually Judy McMahon who brought this to me. Previously, the Board of Education, when they would get to the end of an academic year, a thank you note on behalf of the board would go out to the various parent organizations, thanking them for all their time, the officers. And she mentioned it to me and asked if it would be something that we'd want to resume. And I know I'm in favor of it, but I said I would definitely bring it to the board. And if you're in favor of it, then Judy's already drafted a thank you that would be generated that would go out to the officers of our parent organizations throughout the district.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy,
Yes,
for
please.
that. All right, then the superintendent's report.
First, the Climate Committee met on May 14th, and the Climate Committee reviewed the elementary surveys. And again, we're looking for areas that maybe we need to focus on as a district. And again, probably very consistent with the junior high and high school when it came to those questions about, seeing bullying and being a victim. There's that disparity between students are saying, yes, they see it, but not very many students are saying, yes, I'm a victim. So we had a discussion about that, and one of the things that we want to implement for next year is a way for either parents or students to anonymously inform the building administration that, yes, these things they're seeing these things and it's happening to either them or to somebody else. so that maybe there's a way, because the concerns sometimes students express, if they come forward with information, they're afraid that they, in turn, could become a victim. So we're going to implement that strategy. In addition, Linda Clodwitter, who is our rep that attends professional learning community, that's organized by the DuPage Regional Office of Education along the lines of school climate and bullying awareness. She's our representative. She came to the group and shared some information that they've been discussing and some of the ideas that are coming out of that group. She shared that with our group. And then, in addition, we're going to, as soon as we get through the end of the school year, set some dates for that group to meet during the summer, because one of their initiatives is to have a focus in the fall on bullying awareness, similar to what we do with the Red Ribbon Week. We want to do something along those same lines. So they want to make sure that the plans are well developed, in place, so that they can be acted upon in the fall. And the other thing that I've been thinking about, and I shared with that group, as we go forward next year, I think it would be helpful. You know, we have a finance committee, we have a climate committee, we have a facilities committee, and you know, strategic planning and some of the things we're doing with our student achievement, that maybe going forward, rather than having several different meetings that are occurring on several different nights, have those meetings occur on the same evening. And what that will allow us to do, number one, is it's been a frustration of the climate committee not getting a lot of parent involvement. Well, at least there would be some other individuals there who can hear the update and report on some of the things that are being done. And then the other thing that will do for all these groups is making sure that we're all, number one, we're not overlapping efforts. Number two, that the efforts that we are involved in are all headed in the same direction, moving the district forward. And then an important piece for the finance committee is, if any of these ideas are going to require funding, that they're aware of those initiatives as well as they start to develop those long-range plans. And so I think it's, and then the other thing as well, for some of us who are involved in several different groups, it kind of allows you to maybe not require as many evenings. And so I thought it was a good idea that was proposed, and so that's one of those things that we're going to be focusing on next year, to make sure that, again, that we're all pulling in the same direction. Then with the facility update, in terms of, you know, obviously we're kind of right now in this holding pattern until June 4th, and then it all breaks loose. But, you know, right now we've been giving boxes to staff members who need to pack and get themselves so ready to go, and so the district office is also prepping for that as well. The one thing I did want to bring to the board's attention, there's a memo in your orange folder, because of, you know, South, and next year we'll have 2 classrooms of early childhood, but again, the long-range plan is to really develop a well-thought-out early childhood program that would be housed at South. But, you know, the playground has been a conversation we haven't had, but just to let you know, yes, it is, you know, Mike is involved in that process as well. He has been talking to New Toys, and there are 3 options that he has presented to Kim and I. And you have an outline of those options, pictures of equipment, but basically option 1 is a cost of about $39,900. Option 2 is $24,600, and option 3 is $26,800. Because the one thing is that the equipment that is currently there is not sized appropriately for the age level, and a lot of things have changed with requirements and safety codes since that playground has been used. And then also a new playground service is approximately $12,400. So, and there's 2 things that we're still waiting on to make an informed decision and recommendation to the board. One is we really would like to get information on a construction grant, because every dollar we spend prior to notification, we can't submit for reimbursement. So ideally, you know, what we're doing with the playground is offset with the grant. So that's one thing that we're kind of holding off on, and then that'll kind of help drive how extensive the amount of work we want to do prior to that grant. And the second thing is Mike has a meeting on Thursday with the village, because we need to talk to those about parking and how we're going to accommodate that. And again, you know, codes have changed, and water management is definitely for our area in DuPage County is an issue that has to be addressed. And so those conversations need to take place with the village that could impact location of the playground and shape of the playground, size of the playground, all those things could possibly be impacted. So Mike has that conversation on Thursday. We'll have better information. And so basically our kind of decision date, by June 22nd, we want to have a very well-formed plan of how we're going to address that issue at South. And so then at our June 26th board meeting, we'll be able to share with the board exactly our next steps with regards to the playground. And it'll incorporate that piece about the parking lot, and hopefully by then, we'll have even some information about the construction grant for early childhood. But irregardless, the 22nd, we have to make a decision. So, and then we'll bring that to the board on the 26th.
So what you're saying is you are going to be looking at these and then
Right.
bringing us a, oh, okay, so
Correct,
you're.
correct.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Pete, please, after you.
I was just say the water management issues, is there a potential cost to us, based on the outcome of that meeting?
Yes.
The water management issues, I mean, I'm assuming, based on past experience, that there could be a cost to us as an output of that discussion, that we may have to do some remedial water management work.
And that's
That's
based
probably-
I'm sorry, that's based not only for the playground, but mostly the parking, I would assume, right?
Probably more the parking than the actual playground. So that's one of the conversations we want to have with them, because I think, Mike, if I'm correct, you estimated about 8 parking spots? Right. And looking again, long range, as we develop that facility, obviously, we're going to need additional parking. So that's part of the conversation as well. Their question of us is what is our intent, long range for this facility, and so that they can advise us accordingly. And so that's going to be all part of that conversation. Because, again, the last thing you want to do is invest money and then have to undo things. So, again, we want to make sure we make the most informed decision we can for going forward itself.
So we submitted a list of projects for the $1.2 million Capital Development Board grant. The 1.2.
Have we?
Right, right.
We have?
Oh, no, we haven't.
Okay, because that's the one where it's like 2 for 1, right?
Mhm.
We pay 2, they pay 1. But, I mean, that's already committed to us. So, I think the string for giving the ISBE a list of projects, I thought was this summer sometime. Was that right?
Right.
I'm sorry, you said the deadline for,
List of projects, I thought was this summer.
okay.
Thought we had to identify projects within 2 years from the time we were notified, and then we had 2 or 3 years to do it, to do the projects.
And there was an initial list that was submitted with the
2002.
grant. Right, but, the state board has indicated that, yes, you can make changes to that list. So we just have to go in and, probably delete some items, add additional items, and then resubmit that list.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking along those same lines in addition with that capital money, because one of the things that we have talked about, first of all, I would like to say thank you, Mike Maris, for spending the time on this, because I think we've heard at a couple of the other meetings that the early childhood program and First Start that are going over there, they actually do use the playground quite a bit at Manning, especially since it has been updated. So I love what we have in front of us here. I would definitely like to see something be in place for the start of the school year, and hopefully take advantage of that that money that was awarded to us from the state to take care of that. So I will be very curious to hear what your meetings come with and what you have for us in June. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Do you have anything?
No, that's, I mean, the FOIA requests are attached.
Okay. Now, the next thing is board reports. Kevin and I talked, I would mention this, I think we all got a copy of the May 4th letter from Barbara Toney from the Illinois Association of School Boards. And just so that everyone is aware that our board did also participate in a board governance review self-evaluation on May 3rd, 2012. And so in what we have in front of us from the Illinois Association of School Board are some more expectations. And once we complete those conversations, then we will be posting any further agreements that the board has on our website. But thought it might be important just to mention to our community that our school board has engaged in that practice and the review. So we will be talking about that more. Are there any other board reports?
I just wanted to take a moment. Of course, being the end of the school year, we're all going to lots of events at lots of schools, but I had an opportunity this week to go to the athletic awards, actually last night here at the high school. And one of the things I really wanted to mention that I think is pretty special about our little high school here is that a very large percentage, an overwhelmingly large percentage of the all conference high school athletes are also academic honors or scholar or high honors students. And I was just really amazed because the way they laid out the program really showed the list of all of the students that had academic achievement as well. And then the couple of additional students who were conference athletes. But I mean, the left side of the page was, 90% of the people on the list. And it's just really a remarkable thing to come and see. I was at the academic awards this morning, and I'm fairly sure I shook all the same hand, last night at athletics as I did this morning at, GPA 3.5 and above and all that. And I just wanted to say, kind of for the record, that it was really a tremendous experience, and there are a lot of really, wonderful things going on, particularly around the achievement of our athletic students related to their schoolwork and their grades and their educational aspirations. It was really a wonderful experience.
I guess I would say I was at the high school today for the awards ceremony, and obviously, there was a lot of very bright, very intelligent students up there. It looks like they're going to be going places in life, and I congratulate them. But it's also nice to see a community that supports them very well. There was a lot of scholarships given out today, the Rotary Club, the Lions Club, individual businesses, Student of the Year, even Marie herself gave away a scholarship today. So it's just nice to see, everybody supporting the students in any way that they can. So I think that's important.
And the Chamber and Good Samaritan Hospital, exactly. That was one that surprised me. I didn't expect that one.
Right,
so
that was a very good one, right.
So many on that list of people who are giving. It's not even in our community.
Correct.
I mean, just amazing. It's amazing.
Again, year-end things, a few weeks ago there was a jazz concert here at the high school, and I have to say that program was phenomenal. And then one of the nicest things about it is that the jazz concert is something that the students, they practice before and after school to participate in the jazz band. And so there was there was choral group and jazz band, and this year was also having the junior high jazz band come over. And it was just a very lively, entertaining evening. A lot of good talent in our district, in our fine arts department, and that was evident that night as well as many other evenings as well. So some talented students.
So, and Joel, I know you were there. Joel and I were at the junior high spring concert. Joel's oldest daughter, Kaylee, was honored at that, I believe, as either best student or citizen, I forget which.
Oh, don't make me remember.
Oh, come on, yeah. In any case, congratulations.
Yes.
And it was also an emotional night because it was Kathy's last night as well, and her last concert. And so it's going to, and this entire discussion is going to lead me to a concept that I'm going to start advancing a little bit more aggressively right now. Talk about what we've lost over the last 3 to 4 years of budget cuts. You know, we've lost languages at the junior high, and I think we're the only junior high, we're certainly the only junior high in DuPage County that doesn't have languages. We've lost, I mean, a lot of school districts have them at the K through 5 level. So, I mean, our students are falling behind at the level of languages. We're missing, several administrative positions. The first and most notable to me, as we start to think about professional learning communities, is curriculum director, and all of the ancillary things that a curriculum director can do, just in terms of, coordination and accountability roles. We've lost that. We've lost administrative support in the office. Kim is up to her eyeballs in duties and responsibilities, and a big part of, just my willingness to say, hey, look, if we can save you one sort of bond offering that you don't have to work on, that's great, because she's buried. The technology side, we have continued to expand and continue to grow our reliance on technology, not just internally, but externally. We cut a full technology support person a couple years back. And then going back to the junior high evening, Linnea Nemick is the band director at the junior high. She's half-time, and that's a travesty, in my opinion. If we're going to call ourselves an arts school, we need to do something about that. Just me expressing my, my opinion about that as I think about it. And we can't, the board passed a strategic plan last meeting, and it talks about moving forward and creating a school district steeped in excellence. We can't cut our way to excellence anymore. It can't be done. Let's measure the cost of excellence. I'd love for our board to start talking about measuring the cost of excellence. What would it cost to be truly excellent? What programs should we reintroduce that are excellent? And let's do it in the context of not having to look to other students or other places within the district, that other experiences have to suffer somehow. This is going to be a passion of mine because, I'm only going to be allowed to sit behind this table for so long. I don't know how long that is, but at this point, I feel this immense burden to start talking about excellence and what it's going to cost and how we're going to get there, because that's what we've articulated in our strategy, that we want excellence. So, sorry about taking up your guys' time that way, but that's going to be a theme of mine as we go forward.
Okay, are there any other board reports?
Yeah, I will just add, jazz evening here at the high school, excellent. Junior high choral concert, without reiterating again, just wonderful experience. It's great to see. Just a little bit along the lines of what Dan was talking about, I sometimes wonder, why we are so strong in the arts is because we have so many kids that participated in it at the junior high level. And so one of the questions that comes to my mind when we think about that is, as you add more opportunities at the, say, the junior high level by bringing back languages or bringing back other opportunities there, kids fraction off and they don't concentrate in, say, chorus or band or something. So I wonder sometimes if you have too many choices, if you water down your potential for excellence in certain areas. And I certainly think the number of students in these programs at the junior high level contributes to the success of these programs at our high school level as well. And you know, just seeing the kids at the jazz evening, from the junior high jazz band to the high school jazz band, the high school chorus, lots and lots of talent that was developed over time there. And so, you know, you got to have a nice balance when we do have those discussions. I haven't really given a SACID report in a while, and one of the topics, just kind of the way the meetings have fallen out, that it's actually the meeting is tomorrow evening. But one of the things that came up at SACID that they're looking at is they're looking at the number of students that are identified for services, and they've seen a decline over time, and that over the past couple of years, and you could certainly imagine that has to do to a certain extent with budgets and that sort of thing. But they've also noticed a kind of a different trend where while overall services for students are declining, there's a kind of a significant increase in outside placements for services for students. And so they're looking at the programming that they're offering and asking individual member districts, are there pieces missing that they should be offering, and will that help, you know, alleviate some of the outside placements that go? And the other, one of the topics that came up at the meeting and when we were discussing this is the notion of how parents of special needs children are, in this day and age, almost direct marketed by outside schools and that specialize in a particular area of special education or something, or an alternative placement. And so there's parents, they're questioning, is it a parent demand that's driving this, or is it a lack of you know, offerings that SACID is providing? So they are looking at that among the member districts and questioning that to try and fill that need that seems to be rising there. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? All right. Are there any other public comments? Then the chair will entertain a motion to enter closed session for the purpose of discussing collective bargaining and personnel issues.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please, Mrs. McMahon.
Caparelli?
Yes.
Mr. Charleston?
Yes.
Mrs. Charlton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hancock?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong?
Yes.
You know, can I just mention two more things here? Just upcoming major events. The Westmont High School graduation is May 30th at 7 o'clock, and the Westmont Junior High graduation is May 31st at 7 o'clock. So, and there's no action after closed session. Thank you.